and living your good life as best you can. Hi. This is one of the Sagas of the Shimmering Seas game. We've got a bunch of them going now, but this is our first and the original. And I think I have the title wrong. I thought I changed that. Did I not change the title? I totally did not save changing the title. Great. Hold on 1 second, world, as I change the title. Marcus, I'm apparently very bad at this, just so you know. I know they can't hear you, but I just want you to know that I'm apparently very bad at this. Okay. Apparently I didn't hit save. There you go. Now I have hit save. It has changed. Excellent. Okay, so back to it. So let's dive on in and play some D&D. So last session, we decided that we would end with a time skip. We have done some of that time skip off screen. We've actually been doing it in chat form and various places like that. And I'm pretty happy with how that went. I think much like a television show, where like I'm thinking like a high school television show where the kids are in school and then like they skip over summer and then like, oh no, what happened during the summer? We're gonna leave some things off screen a little bit. They may have had huge and impactful effects on our characters, particularly I think the Masha Seasworn conversation with Sawin was pretty significant and scary, but we're going to leave that off screen. We're not going to share that with you until it comes up in the game naturally, and all that good stuff. So that might be soon, that might be never, who knows.
I was just gonna say that might end up being sooner rather than later.
That's fine. I have no dog in that fight. That is not my call. I just it could be this episode. It could be in 2 minutes. Let's check in though and see now that so a month has passed, and in that month, tensions have been rising. So the big things that we need to know is that the vengeance trip that Kaz went on led to apparently 5 deaths, and the survivor, for some reason or other, is blaming Sunera. She is claiming that elves and Suneran separatists, or something of the sort, were what led to the deaths of these 5 good, true Chelestrans. I did that just to see Sarah roll her eyes. Sorry. I apologize. Anyway, yes. So that's sort of the big thing. Tensions between Chelestra and Sunera are really high. There have been a lot of trade things that have been imposed, a lot of sort of tension in that sense. The big fights that everyone knows about is wood. Sunera is a wooded land full of forests and trees, and recently has seemed to slow down their logging operations in general. They had a certain amount of logging going on, and Chelestra doesn't like that because Chelestra likes building boats and building ships, and so they liked that wood. And so its absence is a problem for them. This has led to economic tension between these two places. But the threat of war feels very removed to everyone, despite the sort of nationalistic tendencies of Magli Blackice. It's certainly well known that if he started a war, the rest of the nations of the Shimmering Seas, the Kava, Prian, Abarak, and Sunera, would all gang up. And so, there's sort of not this, before World War I and even before World War II, there was sort of this belief in the inevitability of war. And right now, it seems like war is not inevitable. In fact, it seems like war is almost unthinkable for some people. It's certainly something that people are talking about, though, the possibility of something like this. But for now, at least, peace is maintained. So, I want to check in on everyone's beliefs. Faye, let's start with Juno's beliefs.
Hi, okay. So, Juno's belief is that Solon is more in danger now than before, in her opinion. And she would like to find a way to get Samhain to communicate with this creature and find out what it wants with them and Thomas and Samhain in particular, without necessarily Samhain having to interact with the ring, which seems to be pretty volatile.
Okay, excellent. Sounds good. So research.
Yeah.
You don't actually want to.
No,
Oh, you want to actually do it?
Do it. Yes.
Okay.
Wants
Sounds good to
set
me.
up a ritual.
Excellent. I am down. That sounds great to me. Sawin, what's your belief today?
My belief for Samhain is I'm going to take steps to fortify my mind and protect myself, my family, and my found family.
Beautiful. I love it.
Aw.
Sounds good to me. Do you have any idea what those steps are going to be?
Yes.
Great.
Are we talking about that now or?
No, it's fine. I just I just always like making sure that the belief has like a concrete action plan that we can actually make happen, right? Sometimes beliefs start out a little vague, and that's fine. A vague belief is fine as long as the player knows how to make it happen, right?
Yes, I have ideas on how to make it happen.
Great, excellent. Let's check in with Thomas.
Okay, I'm glad vague beliefs are fine because I do have a couple ideas, but basically he's starting to feel a little overwhelmed. He knows that he sucks at making multiple things a priority. He is going to try to find a way to be fully invested in both the Order of the Ocean and the Temple of Tamden.
Okay, so finding a work balance.
Yeah, finding a way to make time for both somehow.
Okay, sounds good to me. You have ideas about things that you can institute to make that work?
I have a couple ideas.
Okay, cool. I have a couple ideas that we can make happen as well. But that sounds great. Kaz, what about you?
Zahn's goal or belief is to get to know the captain to gauge whether he could be a potential ally or at least be trustworthy enough to reveal that she's aware that there's a plot against him.
Excellent. That sounds like an excellent belief. I'm so down. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick check-in, and we're gonna do a scene for each of your characters. So think about what scene you want to have. Before we bring the whole group together, there's going to be, I'll even tell you, narratively speaking, there's going to be a message from the Order of the Ocean that reaches you all, to suggest a gathering with potentially a new mission for you guys. But before we do that, I just want to do where you are, how you've been over the last month, and what we see you doing right now in general. What's your daily life? Some of you have jobs now. In fact, all of you have jobs now of some sort or another. And let's just check in on that a little bit, if that's okay with everyone. So let's start with Kaz.
Oh. Well, over the break, Kaz has lost a job, but gotten a new one.
Okay.
She doesn't do bodyguarding anymore, freelance bodyguarding, but she's been appointed to the head of Lady Iria's own personal watch. So her days have kind of looked like she gets up really early in the morning and does her rounds for Lady Iria, leads training sessions, and then once it approaches noon, she takes a break, and after that, she heads over to the city watch, in her Kamala disguise. And for the past month, she's been focusing on establishing herself as a credible city watch, getting to know what the captain's reputation is like, and the end goal of that, of course, is to actually meet with the captain and sit down. So she works well into the afternoon. She spends a lot of her magical ability to work at least 4, sometimes 5, 6-hour shifts with the watch. So she's been working herself pretty hard. it's pretty much just been work, sleep, repeat.
Hmm. How's that feel, spending all this time with the guards?
It's been strange because for the city watch that they really are, they're just city watch. They're not part of the night watch. They're just doing their job. It feels familiar uh, because she was on the village watch when she was still with the Kava.
Mhm.
So that feels normal to her, but really when it comes to, I assume she's had to go to at least one or two night watch meetings in the meanwhile.
Yeah.
um, those feel terrible.
Yeah.
Those feel pretty bad.
Mhm.
And I think, if anything, constantly working has kind of put her into this trance and routine, which is why she did end up wanting a reading from Salwyn, because she felt kind of lost.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna put in, if it's okay with you, a brief comical part to your life.
Mhm.
Not kind of minor, but you know how many spell slots you have. You know how long this lasts, and every time there's a night watch meeting, you know that the night watch meeting is going to last around an hour. But your shift is longer than that, and so you have to find a way to duck out of work early,
Mhm.
so that no one catches you shift into another form, or your disguise self breaks, or whatever, various things like that. And so you have to, every time there's a night watch meeting, probably 3 times in the last month. They try to meet weekly, but every once in a while it's canceled.
Mhm.
Wow, just like D&D.
No.
Evil. No, sorry. And so you have to come up with you have to come up with excuses whenever there's a night watch meeting to bow out of work early somehow.
I feel like there's probably a rumor going around that Kamala is incontinent because her
I love it.
her excuse is always that I have to use the bathroom very badly.
And then doesn't return to work.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. That's great. That's fantastic. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So that's our little check-in with Kazan. Let's do a quick little check-in with Samhain. How's Samhain been over the last month?
Yeah, things have been not so great for our marbled our marbled boy. Um what he's currently in the process of doing is when he's not spending time with Juniper, he's meditating, and he's also hitting up the library. Um, and what he's reading is definitely not. It's a little bit different than the last time he went to the library, which was to collect information on Songshore, um, and how he came into the position he's in.
Mhm.
Sawin is looking at myths and fables
Mhm.
and dangerous plants and animals in Isaim,
Mhm.
and taking copious notes
Mm.
on all of these things.
Beautiful. I love it. So when you say you're going to the library, you're going to the library. Juno, just a question for you. Would you ever reference to Samhain the lighthouse?
Oh yeah, no, I totally would have.
Hmm. And Samhain, would you ever check out the lighthouse? The lighthouse is a bookstore with a coffee shop attached to it, by the way. A lot of academics hang out there.
I think if it's a bookstore,
Mhm.
and if um I think what Sawa would do would be visit the library first,
Mhm.
make a note of all the books he's checked out, and
Mhm.
see if he could actually buy some of them,
Mhm. Absolutely.
have for his own frame of reference. So I think he would check out the lighthouse, but he would definitely be um anytime he sort of leaves his home space, he's kind of on high alert,
Mhm.
just given the events that had happened over the month.
Of course. I think if it's okay with you, Faye, just checking
Yeah.
in here, then I think that Samhain at the lighthouse sees you at some point studying with your new study buddy, Alan.
Oh, for
Or-
sure.
Yeah. What Samhain does with that information, up to him. But I just think that I think it's important that someone be aware that you have a new study buddy.
Yes.
As an aside, and for my own personal frame of reference, does that man look familiar to me?
Not at all in my memory. What are you thinking of? Who are you thinking he might be in disguise as, or something?
Oh, with the way you described him
Mhm.
the last time we were playing, he very much sounded like he was Algernon and had
No.
styled his hair differently and had affected a different way of speaking. And I was like, this man is rolling up on Juno, and I'm going to end him.
Totally fair. 100% understand where you're coming from. No, I think Algernon is a little bit broader of shoulder and broader in the face. Alum is definitely like Algernon looks like he's worked out and is built a little bit like Sabi's spellcaster. This guy is like he's dark of skin, but he is skinny as all get out.
Yeah, we're nerds.
He is skinny and he's definitely taller than Algernon, but Algernon is also tall and has like an imposing presence. This guy is like twig rail, could fade into the background.
Is there familial resemblance at all? Like, he might not be Algernon, but he could be related. I guess basically what I'm going for, to see if like Algernon and maybe one of his siblings roll up and do shady things to people.
Roll an insight check at disadvantage.
Sure can. Everything was fine until you described his hair, and I was like, they have the same hair. This cannot be. Oh my god. So disadvantage was 17.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good roll. This guy seems super polite. He doesn't really have the same mannerisms of Algernon.
Okay.
If they're related, it's like not raised by the same people. Would be your guess. They don't have enough of similarities there. This guy has the affectation of like a young student who's eager about learning, whereas Algernon's like, I know everything. I am the most important, powerful person in the world. You are insignificant to me. This person is being like very cordial and respectful to Juno.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the clarification on his appearance and the way he looks, because with the way he was described last week, I was like,
Totally understand. That's a good thing to be afraid of, especially in a campaign that I'm running, but I will even go so far as to say that I would almost go so, I would go so far as to, I would place the error on my shoulders for describing them similarly. They give such different impressions. Okay. You've also taken the job on the Creative Arts Council, and are doing that sort of work on the side. That committee is growing, and there's now, over the month they sort of hired a bunch of people, including Jonathan Skunkmaid, which you were instrumental in getting on the committee. And it's sort of a mix. I wouldn't call it a good mix, but it's a mix of artists and rich people, and one person who's like a not rich themselves, but like a charitable fundraiser person.
oh, like major gifts donor or major donor gifts officer.
Yeah, exactly. There's someone who like gets money from rich people to donate to like good causes. And this is someone that you actually have in common with Thomas a little bit, because this person also is involved in raising money to help set up Thomas's soup kitchen project that Thomas has been working on as well.
Okay.
But it's like a good mix. I think there's like 11 people on the council, on the Creative Arts Council, because 11 is sort of like an unofficial number here. We've got 11 members of the real council, so we'll have 11 people on the Creative Arts Council, including yourself, Skunkmaid, a couple other artists, and Councillor Tarlock, who's the chair.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes. I'll ask questions later.
Okay, fair enough. Let's check in with Thomas then, since we've mentioned both of our other two characters. I'll just start with Thomas. Thomas, hey, how you doing?
Doing okay.
How's your month been?
Oh, you know. He's getting about 3-4 hours of sleep a night. He's really, really counting on Mercury to like wake him up at some point. Yeah, he's been really working himself to the bone, trying to reintegrate into the temple and kind of start steering it in a more proactive direction, while still following like traditional rites and ceremonies and things like that. But yeah, he's beat and he hasn't seen a lot of people, so he's a little isolated and like, yeah.
Okay. I think that Mercury overrules you every Thursday morning. You've got services Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, so you have to wake you for those, and you've got meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But every Thursday he overrules you and allows you and like has you sleep it.
Every Thursday morning I lose a fight to a small dragon.
Exactly. And I'm sure it's ritualized by now. Every Wednesday night you chide him, wake me up, and he's like, sure, boss, no problem. Oh, sorry, I must have overslept myself, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Yeah, and all that good stuff. Yeah, so you're doing a bunch of stuff. You've sort of expanded you're expanding your Hamden responsibilities a lot right now, and sort of opening up soup kitchen work and doing some communal things and trying to tie the various religious organizations in the city into more of a weave of community.
Mm-hmm.
And are also sort of resuming your role as preacher, or teacher, or
Now,
guide.
we haven't discussed too much about the details of the different, I don't know, the day-to-day details of the different temples and religious followings in this city. I personally am trying to stay as far away from like traditional Christian structure as possible.
Yeah.
As like, not only is it not super interesting to me, I've kind of had a lot of it, and yeah,
great. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like preaching in a typical like.
Yeah, I don't want him
preachy
up
way.
at a pulpit every week or something
No,
like
I don't
that.
think it's anything like that. Actually, I think with Tamden in particular, I think Tamden and Sinanar in particular, the way religious is like practiced is actually like more conversational. It's more like a discussion club, where people like sit in a circle and like talk about problems in their life, and like different people give advice and things like that. And you're sort of like the person who like facilitates the conversation a little bit.
Oh, that's great. It actually sounds like a library program.
There you go. Art imitating life.
Yeah, he's trying to basically reach out as much as possible to the community and make it very clear that not only humans and lizard folk, but everyone are welcome there, without like trying to like evangelize or like convert people, because I feel like that's not really a thing either. But he's definitely trying to offset some of the destructive philosophies that he's seeing with an inclusive alternative.
Sounds good to me. I love it. Yeah, and of course we discussed, but it's worth. I think this is another thing that's worth strongly pointing out to stream. But Alka and Svapri, the couple, are attendants and regularly spend time with you, and conspired with Mercury to force you on a picnic on a beach at one point, and also have had dinner with you once.
No.
Okay,
excellent. Faye, how's Juno doing?
Juno's doing just great. She's Brooke's joke, but that's fine. So when she's gone to see Alum, it's mostly been like, I won't buy anything. I have tea at home, kind of thing. But yeah, her day usually starts with the, getting the newspaper in the mail and sorting everything, and maybe getting breakfast and tea in. She's an early riser, gets the scheduling done for stepwise, and maybe some other stuff that she normally doesn't really think about, little details.
Mhm.
And then when that's done, some hardcore studying, usually now with a study buddy. I think if it's okay, I think she would probably be interacting with Alum a bit more now
Sure.
by the end of the month. Like, I think they would be having more regular study sessions.
Mhm.
Um,
Like, are you saying weekly? Are you saying daily? Are you saying daily for 8 hours?
not daily for 8 hours or anything. I'd say like it started out weekly and then it sort of like went to more than just once a week, but not every day kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it started weekly, but then you realized that like, oh, well, we agreed to meet here on Friday, but it's Tuesday and we're both here, so why don't
Might
we
as
study
well.
today?
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty
Mhm.
much how it is. And
Great.
so she'll do that, and when she's not doing that, she'll be at Samhain's most of the time. Like, usually most days she'll meet up with Samhain and do a little bit of meditating and helping him, and sometimes she'll run over to the temple of Tamden and say hi, and and then tea with Kaz every now and then.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that we're going to start with who checks the secret spot where the Order of the Ocean contacts you guys most regularly.
If it is helpful, Sawin did have lunch with Kaz, and while he was there, he probably would have checked it. He
Perfect.
probably wouldn't have thought to have checked it before she came, but he probably would have checked before he left.
Okay. Yeah. So you get a message about getting together, about a meeting, and all that good stuff. It is now, by the way, the month of the Sphinx. By the way, if you are watching and you think Sphinxes are as cool as I do, then you should know that one of these people on one of my sides, I actually have no idea which side they're on, is named Jesspack, and they released an awesome Tier 4 adventure about trauma and very difficult experiences in which the main characters that you are interacting with are both Sphinxes. And I highly recommend that you check it out. You can find out more on their Twitter at HealthPack Streaming. Did I get all that right?
Yeah, the Twitter handle's at HealthPackStream. You can't fit the ing, but everything
got it.
else is great.
Almost.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. That adventure is fantastic and deeply impactful to everyone who plays it. Okay. Yeah. So you get a note that suggests that you guys meet at the Soulwood Tavern. We're now partway through the month of the Sphinx. You all would know that after the month of the Sphinx is the month of the Hydra. The month of the Hydra is actually very short. It is a holy week, though, and a week of festivities and celebration. Rather a big deal in the world. And it's pretty much a month of celebration throughout the entire world of the Shimmering Seas region. Everyone sort of celebrates this month. It's a very short month. Okay. So you get this message and are asked to meet at the Soulwood Tavern. Everyone finds a way to get away from their duties or their responsibilities or whatever, and meets there in the morning. General Quick Eyes is pacing. He's not his usual standing self. He's instead pacing. Who enters first?
I think Juno would,
Mhm.
because she's able to duck out of her responsibilities pretty easily
Yeah, of course.
in this case.
Yeah. So he looks at you as you enter, and just sort of holding his jaw in his hands a little bit, and says, "Hello, Juno. How have you been? Sorry, it's been a while. Haven't spoken. Been busy."
Oh, doing well, keeping busy. You doing okay?
Fine. You're working for Councilwoman Stepwise?
Oh, yes, yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, she's great to work for.
Is she?
If you know how to work for people with, her style of, with her mannerisms.
I I hesitate I hesitate to ask, but it and he like looks weirdly. It, is there any way that you can help guide her to our side in this? Having council support would be.
Well, I mean, it would have to be very delicate of an operation to do something like that, without giving us away.
Yes, of course. I don't want to.
Are you saying you want her to be aware of this, or just to be opposed to Blackice? Because she does.
Well, she's already opposed to Blackice. I just Well, I should wait till everyone gets here.
Okay, I'll think about it. And she sits down.
Who's next to enter?
I think Kaz would come next, and Faye mentioned this briefly, so I kind of just want to roll with it if it's okay.
Yeah.
But at some point, Kaz, probably not that much time before this meeting, probably goes to Juno to get her hair cut.
Yes.
So when she rolls into this meeting, her hair is cut very short to like below the ears and parted to the side.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, Quick Eyes does not notice.
Yeah, not surprising.
Juno does.
He's distracted. Juno did it. Juno better notice. He's distracted. And he looks at you, Kaz, and says, I hear that you've been spending time in the city watch and the city guards?
Yes, I've been trying to keep an eye on the city, more hands-on way.
How... Every day I hear reports of poor behavior among the guards. Any idea what percentage of them it is? How many of them are pushing things to the line or over it?
By my estimates, it seems like at least maybe around 30% of the city watch is turning over to the night watch.
Oh God, it's worse than I thought. How did this night watch start?
I don't know, but you have to know they're planning on assassinating the head of the city watch, currently the captain.
Does he know this?
No, I'm working on it in a subtle way.
So they don't view him as an ally then?
No, doesn't seem like it.
Does he seem open-minded to others?
I don't know him well enough to really confidently speak to his character, but it seems like he's doing his best, or he's at least trying. And if the Night Watch don't like him, that's a pretty good sign.
That's certainly true. Anyone the Night Watch is endorsing is certainly not someone that we can trust by default. Well, I'll try to... can you... I'll try to... Can you look after him? Can you find a way to help him to bolster his support somehow or something? I don't even know.
That is the hope, but I'm in a tricky position. I gained this information by getting close to the Night Watch, and really they want me to do the assassinating.
Wait, you're in the Night Watch?
I'm in the Night Watch.
We have a spy in the Night Watch?
You do.
Oh, that's the best news I've heard in a while. Well, geez, that changes things. I don't know.
Limited in how outspoken I can be on behalf of the captain, but
oh God, no! I'd never. No, sorry, I misspoke. That changes things the other way. I think instead of protecting the captain, we should be trying to figure out how to fake his death. Make it look like you're responsible. Get you higher up in the Night Watch.
That's along the lines of what I was thinking. I would greatly appreciate help in that.
Right. Yeah. I'll think about it. You have time to have a meeting with me? Something? I don't know. Somewhere else. We don't have to do that here now. We have other things to discuss.
Yeah, I'll make time.
Okay. And at this point, someone else enters. I feel like I'm watching a staring off about two people who are like, I'm going to be the last to enter.
I just feel like Thomas has a lot on his plate, and he would definitely make being there a priority, but he would probably have to sneak out. Good news is, he's probably pretty good at sneaking out of that temple.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Sure. So Thomas, I guess you come in next.
I guess I was gonna be the last one to show up.
I mean, I could show up if you would like.
I just thought that it would be more difficult for him to get there, which is
Okay.
why.
All right, I'll show up.
Hello?
I'll show up to the Soulwood Tavern next.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Did we
Did
freeze?
we lose
Frozen?
Matthew?
Oh no! What do we do now?
Well, gosh, Spicy Curry, I think that makes you the new
Oh,
DM.
you're the DM now.
Oh,
Okay, what happens next?
No!
We probably should.
yeah. Well,
He's
we'll
on
be right back.
Discord.
We lost our DM. We cannot go on without him.
If you see
Hey everyone, super sorry about that. My internet died. It happens. Such is the world. The funny thing is that this morning we were all agreeing that with 4 of us in the house we need better internet, and so we got better internet, but it doesn't kick in until Wednesday. So take that for what you will. Okay, back to where we left off abruptly, and I apologize for that. If I remember correctly, I don't remember. Was Samhain entering? Was Thomas entering?
Oh yeah, Samhain after a diplomatic talk with my castmate, Samhain's entering.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what is does Samhain look? How does Samhain look when he enters?
It's morning, right?
Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
Samhain's gonna look like he has not had enough caffeine today. Is how he's gonna look when he rolls in.
Excellent. Cool. Oh, Samhain, good, you're here. How have you been keeping?
He's just gonna laugh at that.
Oh,
He's like, I got nothing, man.
Yeah. And your laughter encourages like an echo from him. Oh boy, I know what you mean. It has been rough out there.
Is he like doing any other type of fidgeting when I walk in? Like,
Yeah, roll an insight check.
yeah. Like
Also,
how squirrely is he acting? The Lifetime movie. 18.
yeah. On a scale of 1 to 20, because that's the scale that we use in D&D, he's about an 18 in squirreliness right now.
Yeah.
He's definitely fidgeting and twitchy, and seems very, very nervous.
Yeah, Samhain's gonna. Oh, before I walked into this room, Samhain would have cast. I would have used my non-detection spell slot on myself for today.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's basically now a habit that he ends up doing.
Yeah, so it's like it's just habitual. Every day when you leave your house, you cast non-detection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like when he wakes up and he knows he's gonna be leaving the house shortly, he casts it before he even steps foot outside.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, very good call. I approve.
Is there anything in the room that's out of place when I walk in because of the way he's acting?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Cool. That's an 18.
Yeah. His jacket has a large bulge above its left breast pocket. That means that he's probably carrying something in there. The room itself looks fine. It looks normal. You notice the dent where you banged a horn against the wall once. But yeah, it does nothing that is out of ordinary in the room.
But yeah, as a side note, Samhain's horns are starting to grow back out.
nice.
Good to know. It's been a month. Okay.
I mean, they're not like long by any stretch of the imagination, but they have started to grow out, and he's.
Okay.
Is it really cute? Is it like a succulent that's trying to like regrow itself?
Yeah. It's, well, basically, like his horns are. It's the same stuff that your fingernails are made out of. So they do grow. It's just that they grow really slowly.
And last but not least, the busiest member of our group, apparently, which is saying something. Thomas, what is your appearance when you enter? And do you enter on time or late?
He probably enters on time, but he just kind of like power walks in. Kind of trying to like be gliding and like hello everyone, how's it going? Just like a little bit out of breath, but trying to pull it together.
How's the temple treating you? And all the temples treating you?
Quite well so far. I suppose it's safe to say in here there may be a source of discontent within the Temple of Tandon. I have yet to root that out, but it's other than that, it's going quite well. No no overt sabotage. I haven't really heard from Akka. Just sort of managing on a day-to-day basis.
It's good to see the temples return to the way they used to be, not like in like returning to like some sort of mythical past or whatever, but just like doing good work again rather than just sort of being there.
Oh, we're doing our best. Losing a bit of sleep, but who isn't?
Yeah. So everyone, listen. We fucked up. Not you. Us. Order of Ocean, like leader type things. We were deeply worried about Magli's. Sorry, there's something in my throat. Does anyone have water?
What? What?
Can you breathe properly? What's happening right now? How long have you been feeling this way?
Uh, well, since yesterday when I realized the scope of our problems, so we were trying to, we were worried about Magli's influence, particularly in more rural places rather than in just the city. Obviously, we're sort of centralized in the city because this is the capital, and we figured that's where most things are happening. But we saw his influence sort of spreading to the tribes in various locations and all that stuff. So we started sending more and more operatives out there to, be with people, to preach another way, to even join other tribes. And we may have overextended. Actually, no, we definitely overextended ourselves. And someone was invited into the organization that should not have been invited into the organization. And most of the Order of the Ocean is dead.
What?
What?
Most of the Order is dead. I don't know. I haven't heard from certain members for a while, and I just sort of assumed that like the contacts were difficult to keep up. But as best I can guess now, we had a fair number of people. Everyone who I was reporting to is either missing or I have confirmed dead. And I am not really a spy. I'm a military man. I work with armies. I'm used to direct orders. This is all new to me, and I'm a little uncomfortable. So I'm desperately seeking allies and people to work with as that are trustworthy. What do I know? Primarch Magli Blackice has someone in his employ. His name is we don't know his name, but he goes by the Ashen One. Sort of, I guess, an allusion to the old Tawan royal line or something. I don't know, but he is brutal. And the last piece of information that I got out from one of my people was just said the Ashen One is coming, and that's really what it said. We know about this Ashen One merely from like rumors. Basically, I honestly thought that Magli had like a myth working for him on some level or something. I don't fully know, but things are bad, and you're not my last unit, but you are one of my last. I'm down to 3. Everyone else I had working for me is dead. You guys are probably all in danger yourselves as well. And I just thought I should tell you that. This may be, I don't know. The materials that you recovered, the soulwood and earth's blood combined, yeah, we still have that. We
Oh.
know that like the black market now is run amok with people trying to purchase soulwood and earth's blood, and the prices for these things have sort of gone sky high, but also so have there been lots of robberies of them and things like that. There's also just a lot going on. Yeah, so I just thought I'd come talk to you all.
I should note, wherever you're keeping it, you should be very careful to keep any kind of magic away, obviously.
Sure, yes, of course.
It,
We're
I
not.
mean, well, you know why, right?
I have experts sort of who work with this stuff, not me myself, but keeping magic away from it. Good thing. Yes. Okay.
Okay, all right, because that could potentially cause a massive explosion.
Great. Good
Just
to
adding
know.
a little bit more to your plate on that one, I know, but better to know and be prepared.
Is he telling the truth about what's happening, or is he acting right now?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
8.
Yeah, I mean, he's sweating profusely and looks very, very nervous. Whether he's saying everything or not, that's a different question. He certainly seems to want to inform you guys, and is certainly like wants you to take him seriously when he is saying, "Be safe." So
I have so many questions. How did you find out about this? What happened to them? Were they dispatched in the same way as the first cell that you lost? Were they together or on some mission, or were they picked off where they lived? How did you find out about this?
they, I wish that it was one organized thing that I could draw, and I don't have all the information yet. I'm still.
None of them were killed, obviously, in any way. They were just gone.
No, they've all just gone missing. Some by groups, some one by one. At first I thought that like they were just not reporting in. Really, I didn't really think much of it, but then my boss wasn't replying to me, and you know how disturbing it is to leave a secret message for someone that demands a response and then go back and find your own message there and do that every day for a week.
So the other people who are above you,
Yes.
you haven't heard from any of them?
I have one friend, I guess, but our identities are secret from each other. We don't know who each other are. And it's just the two of us right now that are left. We know that there's there's rumors. There were always rumors. We knew that like this organization was started by someone high up, someone on the council. Was sort of a theory that was tossed around, but everyone sort of kept their identity secret from each other so that we would protect that person. But neither of us know how to contact the person in charge, and so like we're out of our depth here.
And no counselors have fallen ill lately? Thomas asked, kind of looking at Juno sideways.
I haven't noticed anything awry with Stepwise, have I?
You're welcome. No, you haven't.
Okay, not even like her. Well, I mean, she's usually stressed out, but
yes,
nothing really has changed.
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay. Well, I do work for someone in the council. If you would like me to take a look and get a little bit more involved, see if I can case them out.
Honestly, I don't know what's the right thing to do. Should I disband this order and send you all to ground? Should I and just give up? Should I spend what resources I can to just essentially kidnap you all from your lives and hide you in a chamber to try and keep you guys alive? Should
not that one, I think.
I mean, not like kidnap, but like, gods. And he like sits down, but there's no chair. And so like he just sort of
Oh
lands on
my.
the ground.
Oh.
Okay.
Here, come here. And Thomas is like gonna grab him by the elbow and kind of like help him up and like try to help him to a chair. Sit down. Take your time.
Not forward, but what is in your jacket?
And he like touches exactly where you're looking. Right. Yes. And he opens his jacket and pulls out an envelope. It's bulky. It's clearly not carrying a letter. It's carrying something in it. I have these are for you. And he just holds them out, one for each.
What's
Can I
this?
like investigate the envelope? Like,
Yeah,
does
roll
it-
an investigation check or a perception check. I'll take either in this case.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do the same too. I'm
Okay.
not opening this without looking at it first.
Mhm.
18.
Mm. Oh, it's the same stat. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Salwyn, you notice that the ring that the don't give away the answer, Matthew. The envelope is bulky. It's got 4 round objects in it with something on top of it. It sort of looks like it's filled with sort of rings that maybe have a jewel in the center of them.
Okay, let me take a look at the rings. I'll open it. Can I open it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And can I examine them? Like,
Yeah,
are they
of course.
magical?
Yes, they are magical.
I crit failed. This is the smallest napkin holder I've ever seen in my life.
Is it okay if I try to see what kind of magic it is before he tells us?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Take a look.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll Arcana, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Okay, 26.
Yeah, you're quite familiar
Yeah.
with this magic. In fact, you were studying it the other day with Alim. This is
yes.
abjuration magic. It is magic of protection.
Okay.
You would actually know that these gems inside of it are hollow, and inside of them they are filled with a substance called heart water, which is one of the 4 magical substances of the region. Not one of the ones we've been dealing with, but one that's used often for protection magic.
I don't know if I can fit these over my beansies.
Oh.
They should resize to
Okay.
your
Alright.
needs.
I will fit them
when
over
you
one of my
attune to them.
beansies. And I'll just look at the others and be like, "Oh no, this is good. This is safety magic."
They don't match. Each of them has like a different gem. One of them has an emerald, one of them has a ruby, one of them has a garnet, and one of them has a sapphire. But they're all hollowed out and filled with this water, and so you can hear sort of when you hold them up to your ear and shake them around, you hear water sloshing around softly.
What is this exactly?
It's what I had. I wish it's protection magic. It's the best that I have. Things that will help hopefully keep you alive. You sort of attune to it, and it as a magical item will help you resist certain negative effects or prevent things from happening to you that you don't want to have happen to you.
Such
And
as
as someone also in the line of fire, I assume you have one as well.
Yeah, and he like holds up his finger and says, and points at his finger, and yeah, he's got a lapis one.
Okay.
protects us from things such as
Well, they're limited in power, but they should help you certainly protect from any. I mean, basically, what you do is you sort of focus on something, and then for that day, you are resistant to that sort of thing, whatever that sort of thing may be. They also have sort of a limited, make you a little bit dodgier, a little bit luckier, that sort of thing.
Now, I know that this is a scary situation and probably very stressful for you. But if it's all right, now we have a place where we can reach out to him, correct?
Mhm.
I would like you to. We'll talk this over. If you could just keep an eye on the place where we leave our messages for the next few days.
Of course, I check it daily.
Okay, good.
How do you get here daily? Do you take the same route, or do you mix it up? How easy is it to follow?
I don't.
you?
Sorry, I don't. It's not even just me. I have a couple of different servants who do it so that it's not too conspicuous. People that have been with me all my life. People I trust.
Okay. All right.
It's not me. I'm not the leak. I don't know who it was.
No.
I have my suspicions.
Who?
I mean, again, we're all coded. I don't know her name. She goes by Lady Octopus. She was your first handler.
Mm.
Okay, Lady Octopus. That's good. I'll write that down. And why do you have those suspicions, if I may ask?
She was one of the people who was in charge of contacting whoever's really in charge, and through you guys, I found out that whoever was really in charge didn't find out about the fact that we had a mole in the organization. She was the one who was supposed to deliver that information, and I sort of presumed that she did, but apparently she didn't, or some such.
Are you able to be in contact with her? Has she dropped off the map as well?
She's disappeared, so she might be dead, and I might be totally wrong. It could be anyone. Really?
Okay.
Kazan, we've seen her. Well, not her face, perhaps. She was wearing a mask, but do you suppose you could do that thing you do to find things on her mask or on something she might have been wearing?
I can. That's only if she has that same item on her person, but we could definitely try that.
Anything to give us more information would be useful. I don't mind. I mean, I think I've made it relatively clear that we've gone from being a fledgling organization trying to do more than we should to, I have no idea how many of us are left, but it would shock me if there's 50 in the nation.
Okay.
Alternately, there's somewhere we might check. Obviously, there are literally dozens of ways to get rid of anyone in a city this size, but people are still coming and going from that crocodile pit we made it out of on our first night together. And it seems to me that if I wanted to disappear someone, having a ferocious eating machine in my basement might be a good way to do it. We could look into it.
We could have Mercury fly down there so that we don't have to be there ourselves. It's just what Juno says. That's her suggestion.
Just an idea. As I said, they probably could have disappeared any number of ways, but that's still an active location.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So I see, from my perspective, sorry, you have to pardon me, I think about this in military terms. I see 3 potential campaigns before you, or before us all. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Just breathe. Breathe deeply and we'll do it together.
And he starts like scratching his forehead pretty heavily.
Hey, easy on yourself.
Yeah. So I see 3 potential campaigns. There's the rising tension with Sunera. I think it's obvious at this point that Blackice is trying to start a war. The biggest problem there is that if he starts a war, the rest of the Grand Accord will side with Sunera and they'll lose. So he has to find a way to get a war that is justified, or a way to keep the other nations out of it, or something like that. Then I see this missing contraband, sort of the he's clearly your theft of this Earth's blood, and sorry, I should have told you the mixture that you had. I don't know if you realize this, but That's more money than I've ever seen in my entire life. The briefcase that you left me, that's probably about, I don't know, 500,000 gold worth of magical materials.
Selling
There.
it would be grossly
Oh, I'm
irresponsible.
so proud.
I mean, of course.
Juniper.
She didn't say it out loud. She didn't say it out loud.
But the fact that people are trying to get this stuff on the black market or something like that. I don't have any proof, but I am certain that these people trying to get it, that most of them are either secretly working for Magli Blackice or wanting to sell it to Magli Blackice. Not that he would ever, condone that. So we have sort of the black market, we have the impending conflict with Sunera, and we have the Ashen One, this weird name that I have, or title. I don't even know. That's the hardest one to look into, but he seems to be hunting people down somehow, or maybe he has his own organization. I don't know anything. I feel like a waste of my space. This isn't what I thought I would be. This isn't what I thought I would need to be doing.
Is it confirmed that the Ashen One is Tawani?
Sorry, can you say that again? My internet is a little rough.
So someone's asking the general if it's confirmed that the Ashen One is Tawani, if this is possibly a misnomer.
It certainly could be a misnomer. I just guessed. I should be clear, it's entirely my guess. I have no evidence for this besides the name being Ashen One and Ash being associated with the royal house of Tawan. It certainly seems like if it's not his parentage, it's certainly, or their parentage, I have no idea, even their gender or preferred pronouns of, or even if they're a person or a group. But it certainly seems like it's meant to elude that. I mean, when I heard the Ashen One, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay.
Can I check something?
Yeah.
Can I see if the way he's acting, is it similar to how I saw like Stepwise acting at the ball?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Because I have another way to check too. I just was not sure. No, I mean hard. I don't know. 9.
Yeah. Shit, my connection to the internet is unstable again. Oh no. No. Please don't fall apart. Please don't fall apart.
Fall apart.
Oh no.
Oh no, he froze again.
Ah!
Oh.
Nuts.
Oh, I feel so bad.
It's frustrating. Oh no.
Oh, there he goes.
Get back.
Oh. Damn. Well, I have a plan.
Oh.
Yes.
He's gonna leak it to us before we go over it on stream, and then we can act all surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hurry this dude out of the fucking room, get him go get tea so we can talk, and propose to y'all that it's about time that we met Stepwise and had a conversation.
That's cool. I'm convinced if we leave him alone for 3 seconds, he's gonna get sniped.
Yeah,
That's fair.
he's gonna be headshotted, and we're gonna be fucked.
Yeah, but we really need to talk to her and get some information out of her.
Yup.
I mean, I could just go and get some information out of her and be like, we should go drinking. Boss and assistant, let's go, get drinks, and maybe solid. Have you heard solid or cows or hummus? Pick one of them. Pick one of them, be like, you should meet my friend. He's really great.
I really want to go looking for these bodies.
You haven't had a young lover in a while.
Oh, wow.
Because she said that everyone's suggesting that she's getting all these like various lovers and stuff and scandals.
Wait, whom's Tamela?
Yeah, everyone assumed that Juno was for a hot second,
Oh my
and
God.
they ended up cracking up about it.
Hey guys, sorry again. I'm gonna not be on Roll20 just in case that makes a difference. I doubt that is making a difference or contributing to anything. But everyone, just tell me what you roll when you roll, and I'm just not gonna look at anything besides this Zoom call.
Yeah, Roll20's a hog, so that's probably not really helping. If
I
other
mean,
people in your house
yes,
are on the
that's
internet.
definitely true. But I do honestly doubt that that's what's contributing to this. I think it's other problems. But nonetheless, just in case it is, I'm going to do this. So people tell me what you're rolling, and if I need stat blocks, I'll make them up.
Okie dokie.
And if I need to roll, I have actual dice somewhere, probably right to my left, probably within an inch of me, and I could find one, probably in this couch cushion right here. Oh, there's a D20. Okay, back to it. Where were we? Freaking out, general quick eyes, having a panic attack. Sound good? Good. Cool.
So it's hard for me to really tell if he's been poisoned.
Thomas says, "Give me a moment," and he goes out to the bar and he says, "Can I get an ice water? Hold the potato."
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
Hands you an ice water.
Left
Takes the
scarf
water
on.
and he gives it to him. Just drink that slowly.
He takes it and his hand is slightly shaking and he starts drinking.
I think Matt just lost his thing.
No!
Damn.
Oh man.
It's okay. Quick Eyes is just taking a while to drink his water.
Yeah, seriously. Oh no, he choked on it. Oh no, he's dying.
Oh no.
Oh no, one less thing we have to take care of as
Hey.
characters.